Shalom, Akim, all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'Shem Rakah Kodash, double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salute to sincere Akim out there of the hopeful elect. All right? Just check out this news clip from CBS News about Teddy Roosevelt's statue that used to be in front of the Museum of Natural History in New York City across the street from Central Park. All right, we used to talk about that statue a lot because that statue was actually in the scriptures. You know, I don't know exactly who erected that statue or who designed that statue, but they certainly got that statue from out of the scriptures, whether they knew it or not. You know, it definitely has a spiritual aspect to it because there's because the scripture that I'm going to read, the verse that I'm going to read in the Holy Bible, it correlates to that statue, okay, which, you know, signifies Esau, the so-called white man's dominance over the nation of Israel, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. All right, and you know, it's been a lot of controversy about it, as this news report is going to state. And the statue has since been removed since the George Floyd incident in the BLM movement. You know, when you had BLM and Antifa going around vandalizing statues of racist Edomites or Edomites with a long history of prejudice and racism and slavery. Okay, but the question is, what happened to all of these statues, man? You know, what happened to all of these statues that they've been taking down, they've been tearing down? Did they destroy them? Well, this video right here in this news clip, you know, it clearly shows that this one statue in particular with Teddy Roosevelt this statue was not destroyed, but in fact is going to be moved to a new location here in the United States of America. Okay, which is Babylon the Great. So we've been telling you for the longest, the so-called white man is the devil. He doesn't care about you. All right, it's all about them and their goal of a new world order, and, you know, privilege for their children and oppressing our people because it's in their spirit to do so. All right, so I'm gonna just play this clip, check it out real quick, and I'm gonna read the scriptures.
Controversial Teddy Roosevelt statue in front of the Museum of Natural History will soon be on the move. The equestrian statue, commissioned back in 1929, is heading to the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library in Medora, North Dakota. It'll be on long-term loan from New York City. The statue has long been criticized as racist in the placement and portrayal of Native American and Black figures. Library opens in 2026 and will include representatives from indigenous tribes and Black communities who will recontextualize the statue. Removal will begin in the fall.
Okay. Okay, so there you have it, man. All right. That statue, Teddy Roosevelt and the North American Indian and the so-called Black man, African American, will be removed and shipped to North Dakota. All right. And this is a scripture that I was referring to in the book of Ecclesiastes in the Holy Bible, chapter 10, verse 6. It says, matter of fact, I'll start at verse 5. It says, there is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceedeth from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low places. Okay, and in that statue, you had Teddy Roosevelt sitting in a high place, in a position of power upon a horse. All right. And the rich sat in a low place, which the rich represents the nation of Israel. You know, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. The northern kingdom is the Latin tribes, which include, you know, the North American Indians, right? The Seminole Indians, the Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, you know, the indigenous people of America, as you would call them today. All right. And also the African Americans, so-called. All right. Those, because African Americans and the West Indians and the Haitians make up the Southern Kingdom. So you see the Southern Kingdom and the Northern Kingdom just walking on their feet below as servants to Teddy Roosevelt, who was an Edomite upon a horse. All right. So I'm gonna read that again. It says, "Folly is set in great dignity." Yeah, the so-called white man is a fool. Okay. You know, the scriptures tell you that this man is a fool because he doesn't believe in the Most High. All right. Yet he sits in a position of power, in a position of rulership today. It says, "And the rich sit in low place." Yeah, and the rich sit in low place. The nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. We're the second-class citizens. We're the ones who sit in poverty in this society. It says, "I have seen servants upon horses." I have seen servants upon horses. When you do the history of Jacob and Esau, all right, you Jakes, you Israelites, you descend from Jacob. And the so-called white man, they descend from Esau. When you read Genesis, the 25th chapter, it goes into the birth of the fraternal twins, Jacob and Esau. All right. And Esau, who's the firstborn, it was told that the elder shall serve the younger. The oldest of the twins was going to be a servant to the younger of the twins. And Esau, the so-called white man, is the elder who was born first. All right. And the scriptures tell you, Ecclesiastes 10:7, "I have seen servants upon horses." So in that statue, you seen Teddy Roosevelt, so-called white man, sitting upon a horse. And that represents the so-called white man to this day. This is a white man's world, all right? Or Satan's world, okay? And they are in a position of power and they have all the privilege in the world. It says, "I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth." And in that statue, you see on the right-hand side and on the left-hand side of Teddy Roosevelt, two Israelites. You know, the North American tribes, which represents the Northern Kingdom. And you had the so-called black man, which represents the Southern Kingdom. All right, standing on the side, walking on the side as servants to Teddy Roosevelt. You know, so that was the controversy with that statue. But our people are very ignorant of the scriptures. They don't even know that that was prophesied, man. Okay, that was prophesied, and that actual statue correlates to the Bible. You know, to a biblical passage. You know, but our people are very ignorant of the scriptures. And this is the last scripture I want to bring out. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 21. It reads, "My son, fear thou the Lord and the king." All right, yeah, fear the Lord and fear the king. Okay, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. All right. Okay, that's who you're supposed to fear, not Allah, not none of these false deities and these other gods who you people choose to pay homage to because it suits you. You know, it actually suits you. It suits your desires. All right. It says, "My son, fear thou the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change." Yeah, meddle not with them that are given to change. That's the main point. Okay, and the so-called white man is given to change. You know, a year or two ago with the Black Lives Matter movement and the decimation of all of these racist statues, these statues of these racist figures. You know, you had white people chanting and pumping their fists, talking about the removal of these statues, and you know these statues were racist and they had to go and be destroyed, and we had to get rid of them in order to change and better this society. All right. But now what are they talking about with the Teddy Roosevelt statue? They're talking about, no, we just need to take it down and change its location. All right. Get it out of New York City. All right, and ship it to North Dakota, which North Dakota is Indian territory, pretty much. All right, you know, you got a lot of Gadites out there out there in the West. Okay, so what's that symbolizing? you know, changing it from one location to another. You know, we need to destroy the statue. No, we'll keep it. You know, we need to get it out of the big urban New York City area. Oh, we'll just ship it out there to the west, to the western frontier. All right? That's change, man. That's just change. You know, a change of heart. The Lord said, meddle not with them that are given to change. And that's the so-called white man for you. These devils. All right? So, you know, I just wanted to share these scriptures and share that news clip and, you know, further prove through the so-called white man's own sayings and doings to you brothers and sisters out there that he's the devil that the Bible speaks of. All right? So I hope you've been edified. Shalom, wa barakim, abaratazah. See you in the next one. Shalom.